Hey there, and welcome to Scaling Up Your Impact, the podcast where we help therapists grow their skills, confidence, and impact. At Scaling Up, we're passionate about offering free content and support because we believe in the incredible work that therapists are doing in the world. Hi, I'm Kelly Smyth-Dent, the founder of Scaling Up, and in today's episode, it's just me, sharing thoughtful insights from our team and our amazing community of therapists. But before we get started, please be sure to sign up for our free weekly newsletter. Each week, we'll send you the latest podcast episodes along with related workbooks, tools, and tips to help you put your ideas into practice. You can subscribe either at scalingupemdr.com or you can find the link in our show notes. It's free and designed to support your growth. We're so glad that you're here. Let's dive in. Hi there, and welcome back to Scaling Up Your Impact, the podcast for trauma-informed therapists who want to grow their skills, confidence, and reach without burning out. I'm Kelly Smyth-Dent, founder of Scaling Up, and today we are tackling a really common question that comes up in just about every EMDR Basic Training cohort, in consultation calls, and even in DMs from therapists we've never met. They say, I don't know if EMDR is right for me or for my clients. So maybe less of a question and more of a statement with some curiosity behind it. But if you've ever been wondering this for yourself, whether it's because of your client caseload or your therapeutic style or your practice settings, you are not alone. EMDR is kind of a weird therapy. Conceptually, it sounds really strange. And honestly, it can feel kind of strange on the client's end and the therapist's end. But let's break it down and help you figure out how and if EMDR training makes sense for you. So first off, let's normalize this hesitation. Therapists who ask this question are often doing something really important. They're thinking critically about clinical fit and client care, which is a good thing. So some of the most common concerns that we hear include, my clients aren't trauma clients. Would I even use EMDR? I work mostly with anxiety and depression. Is EMDR only for PTSD? I'm not a super structured therapist. Will this feel too rigid for me? I don't want to re-traumatize my clients. Isn't EMDR kind of intense? Or simply, I've heard EMDR is amazing, but is it really something I'll use? If any of these sound familiar, you're asking the right questions. When therapists invest in training, time-wise, financially, and emotionally, you want to be sure it aligns with your work and your client's needs. So let's dig into who actually benefits from EMDR therapy, both on the client side and on the therapist side. So let's start with clients. While EMDR was originally developed for treating PTSD, its use has expanded dramatically over the last few decades. So here are some client profiles and situations where EMDR tends to be especially effective. So first, single incident traumas. So think car accidents, medical traumas, assaults, natural disasters. For these clients, EMDR can help reduce intrusive memories, emotional reactivity, and physical symptoms tied to the event, often in fewer sessions than traditional talk therapy. Second, complex trauma and developmental trauma. So for clients with childhood abuse, neglect, attachment wounds, or long histories of interpersonal trauma, EMDR offers a phase-based, titrated approach. Is it fast and linear? No. But it's one of the few models that lets you honor complexity while still helping clients reprocess stuck material safely over time. EMDR is known for helping with anxiety, phobias, and performance issues. So many therapists are surprised to learn that EMDR can be used for present-day triggers and performance anxiety, helping clients with fears of driving, public speaking, or even test-taking anxiety. Also think about grief and loss. So when grief feels complicated or frozen due to traumatic events or a traumatic loss, EMDR can help clients process those pieces, allowing for more adaptive grieving. So an example could be people who have helped their loved ones in hospice or in the hospital. Sometimes there's components of that loss that get stuck like the sound of the beeping in the hospital, or the sound of or image of something, or the smell of something, or, feeling invalidated by medical staff or something like that. The moment that you heard about the shocking news. So it's not going to take away somebody's grief, and we will have other episodes talking about EMDR and grief in more detail, but it's not going to take away the grief, but it can take away the intensity of the traumatic moment associated with the grief. And if you don't reprocess that trauma, sometimes it can cause complicated grief or prolonged grief. And so it can be really useful to reprocess the trauma linked to it so that people can have a healthy, undisturbed grief process. EMDR can also help clients with somatic complaints or chronic pain. So, for clients with a trauma history who are showing up with body-based symptoms, EMDR can uncover and target the unprocessed memories that may be driving their pain or medical distress. And then lastly, ongoing traumatic stress. So with protocols like the EMDR Pressy, or even group models like the EMDR IGTP, so these are both adapted, advanced EMDR protocols. In these cases, EMDR is increasingly being used with clients living with ongoing crisis situations. So first responders, humanitarian contexts, domestic violence, communities facing chronic violence. And remember, EMDR is not about forcing clients to relive trauma. It's about helping the brain and body reprocess stored, unintegrated memories so that present day events don't keep hijacking the nervous system. So now let's talk about you, the therapist. EMDR isn't just about the clients you serve, it's about how you want to do your work. So if you've ever felt like, I wish I had more tools when clients feel stuck, or talk therapy feels like it's going in circles with this client, or I want more neurophysiological, aka brain and body, research supported intervention for trauma symptoms. I need a structured method for working with overwhelming material safely. I want to learn how to help clients heal trauma at the root. Then, if this resonates with you, I would say EMDR is absolutely worth considering. One thing that surprises many therapists is that EMDR doesn't require you to give up your current clinical style. So, are you relational? EMDR can be too. Do you work somatically? EMDR can complement that because it's also a somatic approach. Are you an IFS therapist? Plenty of EMDR therapists integrate parts work because they go hand in hand. Do you do equine assisted therapy? Awesome. Blend it with your EMDR for an incredible experience. So many EMDR trained therapists integrate EMDR with CBT, DBT, art therapy, play therapy, and have a kind of an integrative approach. You name it, they integrate it. EMDR doesn't replace your clinical intuition, it enhances it with a powerful physiological tool for processing stuck material. You'll also gain language for treatment planning that's phase-based and ethically sound, making it easier to explain your approach to clients, supervisors, and insurance companies. So let's be real. Client demand for EMDR is growing. More and more clients are asking for EMDR by name, thanks to media coverage, word of mouth. There's a lot of celebrities that are coming out talking about their positive EMDR experiences, and also VA and healthcare endorsements. So having EMDR in your toolbox doesn't mean that you have to use it with every client, but when you do need it, you'll be ready. There's another big fear that we often hear, which is, what if my clients aren't stable enough for EMDR? And this is a fair question. It's one that's addressed extensively in the EMDR basic training. The first two phases of EMDR are all about assessment and preparation. So that means you're identifying dissociation, you're building stabilization skills, you're teaching clients containment and grounding techniques, and you're strengthening internal resources before any processing begins. You will learn how to tailor your pacing, how to know when somebody's ready, and how to pause or titrate the work as needed. And just to be clear, being EMDR trained doesn't mean that you're required to jump into reprocessing with every client. It simply means you'll have more options when the time is right. And honestly, EMDR is such a strange type of therapy that it's really hard to know if you like it or not until you've done the training and you've experienced it as therapist and client. At that point, people really get a sense of whether it's right for them or not. As scaling up trainer Nicole Mainthal says, sometimes the most stabilizing thing we can do for a client is EMDR. We'll post a link in the show notes giving you more context into what Nicole means by this. It's a very transformative conversation. She's one of the trainers on our team that we've interviewed. So, is EMDR right for you and your clients? If you work with humans who have experienced distress, whether it's trauma, anxiety, grief, stress, or even just being stuck in old patterns or messaging, EMDR can be an incredibly valuable addition to your clinical toolkit. So if you're curious about how EMDR training works or you want to see upcoming dates for our EMDR basic trainings, head over to scalingupemdr.com. And if you're already EMDR trained, but you want to build more confidence, check out our advanced trainings and consultation options. Thank you all so much for being here. I appreciate the work that you're doing. Thank you for scaling up your impact, and we'll see you next time.